Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the AfreecaTV Theatre of Dreams, a dream matchup for many of you. Let me introduce. On the left side of Data C, we have Reynor, the sometimes Protoss, all times entertaining, now picking Zerg, because he's got quite an opponent up against him. On the other side, the #1 Protoss in the world, breaking a streak of 5 years without Protoss GSL Champions, revolutionizing. Yeah, I changed words halfway through there. Revolutionizing the Protoss versus Zerg matchup at herO. He has redefined and realized the potential of especially gateway units in the early game, of course. Reynor, when he plays his Protoss, also a big fan, but essentially, if there's anyone who should understand how to beat a Protoss, I think right now it's Reynor, as he's been the one on the other side of the story so many times lately. But Protoss versus Protoss is a coin flip with a coin weighted in both directions, so I'm not surprised he's fallen back to the reliable Zerg here. Now, we're on Data C, the macro map, quote-unquote, though maybe a little less so in this particular matchup. I think, overall, the longer the game goes, the mid-game usually would favor Zerg. At least historically has favored Zerg. But herO kind of turns that on its head with his very gateway and aggression-oriented style. Reynor likes to meet that head-on, though. He's a big fan of relying on like melee attack upgrades, which can potentially, with +2, banelings can one-shot probes. Of course, huge upgrade against zealots. Here on the other hand, double forge in order to trade straight up, but Hydras have making a comeback. Jimmy, I need to see the health bars. Okay, otherwise I don't know if things are real. When I look up, I see no health bar above my own head, which makes me think all of this is a simulation. Moving on. Adept headed towards the main. I'll actually show that move. Alright. Just hide. Oh, wow. That's a... I was wondering why herO decided to hide the Adept like that, but he sent the Adept shade out. Hid the Adept in the main, canceled the shade. Oh, he's trying to protect against counterattacking Zerglings. This is a... Oh, if you're going to send Zerglings in, the Overlord saw the Adept go out, so I send my Lings in. Wow, what a like, top 16 in the world move right there. It's one of those that only works against good players who are actually watching for it. Of course, Reynor not taking the bait. He had Lings at home, but didn't look to get aggressive with them. So, overall, no harm, no foul. Scouts in, sees drones. You're looking for drones. You're looking for how much creep spread. You're confirming the third base. Overall, as herO, that first Adept has a lot of work to do before the Oracle comes out and essentially takes its job. The Oracle filling the same role, except better in every way, of constant scouting, potential damage, solid early game defense. What can't the Oracle do? I guess it can't. It doesn't have legs, so legs are overrated, in my opinion. One of the most overrated appendages. My tier list is coming soon, though maybe not on this website, so. That's a fleet beacon! Oh my! 2-base carrier. We're doing a carrier rush. Well, That is quite a play. Well, this is a very awkward wall here. Did he misplace the first pylon? The Overlord's wandering in. Will it be... the Stalker isn't killing it very fast. He sees the fleet beacon. Oh my, it's very close. He sees a Stargate building. Oh my god, he saw the fleet beacon. Reynor saw the fleet beacon. I am 90% sure. He definitely saw the second Stargate. But there was only a split second on the beacon. Oh my god. Tempest? What? Tectonic destabilizer rush? What is this, herO? This is a Zest build. I don't even say that just to bring up Zest whenever possible until he finally comes back in a year and a half. But Zest was the only player I've seen do anything even close to this in the last, I don't know, since tectonic destabilizers were added. A lot of you might not even know what that is. Well, the fleet beacon's gonna be spotted. The upgrade, now Reynor can't see what upgrade it is. We know what it is, but he can see it upgrading, though many players might not even know the animation for fleet beacon upgrade. Instead of the blank, instead of the twilight, instead of the gateways, we have the upgraded Tempest. Tectonic destabilizers, it coats your Tempest shots in specialized anti-building Dorito dust. Collected from the gamer chairs of thousands of nerds. Well, that was disgusting. Clean your chairs, nerds. Don't be honest. Actually, you know what? Let's move on and not talk about that anymore. The Tempest outranged the Queens, but of course the Queen's on the creep. Why do we always get bullied by massive capital ships before we have any flying units, Brenda? Shh. Back in my day, we used to be able to fly. Stop! It's been 12 years! Stop bringing it up! Well, the Tempest count is getting uncomfortably high. The Tempest is better than carriers in low numbers at sniping specifically Queens, because of course their direct damage instead of reliance on those relatively expensive interceptors. I can't tell if this is doing enough, because on one side, you see Reynor just kind of comfortably taking a fourth, and with 68 drones. But on the other side, herO, well, there's Zerglings in the main, which is certainly not going to help. This awkward wall-off, if he hadn't let Reynor into his base multiple times with units here, and herO was able to just do this unmolested at home, well, I fear how much could have been done. But one Tempest down. Overall, Reynor is just throwing Queens in front of it. And so far, it's working. With 12 Corruptors in production right now, It's painful. So far, 7 Queens have been slaughtered. Almost a King Henry of Queens. But the Corruptor count, and there's nothing... They're just not very good against it. It looks like he's going to lose a second Tempest. It's just not good. Roaches are the follow-up. Blink and +1 on the way as herO... Well, he sends a bunch of Adept Shades in, but the Roaches have already been spotted. A little bit of a taste of his own medicine for Reynor as the wall is not there. Roaches chasing it down. Yeah, the Shades... But 5 or 6 drones is not going to do much here. Reynor's at 70-something drones. Overall, the Corruptors just knocked down the Tempest on the other side, deleting them from the map. There just wasn't enough progress made with those Tempests. The only thing keeping Reynor from coming across the map here is 1, the Roaches don't have speed yet, and 2, the Adepts are only 10 drones down. Reynor still has 76 workers. He's up 100 supply right now. Would you look at that? It's 106 to 30 armies. I don't know if there's any amount of blink micro in this world. You need at least half a dozen pairs of eyes for that. Reynor's just gonna bludgeon him. The brick he's about to throw through his window. All these roaches. Far too many. The Corruptors. Blinking back. Corruptors in the main, trying to get the main Nexus. So far, herO is holding. But can he weather the continued storm of roaches? Oh, the Corrosive Bile is actually landing to some extent. +1 attack is completed for both sides. Corruptors waiting for their opportunity. 12 probes go down. It's not like herO has an overwhelmingly good economy right now. Link Stalkers are holding on, but as the Zerglings get added in, they're just too many targets for them to efficiently trade with. herO links out at the last second from those Corrosive Biles, but Shield Battery Overcharge is gone. The Roach count, Reynor just in macro simulator mode right now. Maxed out. with nothing to do but bash hero's face, and the Nexus is gone. I would have loved to see this play out, with herO actually able to hide the Tempest for longer. Seemed like an interesting style, but I'm not entirely, like, with any sort of warning, Reynor was able to just throw queens in front of it. Yeah, a whole lot of queens died, but they protected the rest of the base. Somehow herO with way less army supplies turning this around. The Blinkstalkers. Remember, some of Reynor's army supplies in Corruptors, but he needs about 38 more Blinkstalkers here. Even if herO somehow survives each of these waves, remember, he's on 2 base. He's got way less probes. Let's not make it interesting, all right? We're not here to cast. We're here to crush dreams. And Reynor does just that with relative ease. Wow. On or off creep. The Queen's still a bulky, thick meat shield that the Tempest cannot grind through. While they have good single target opportunities, the Queens are just so much cheaper. herO, a creative game 1, but not a particularly effective one. Let's see if game 2 can turn things around. Inside and out. Reynor, a comfortable victory. I mean, that was cute. It didn't feel like at any point he was really threatening Reynor, though. If he started getting behind the mineral lines, because Tempest can technically one-shot drones, which is a not-so-fun for Zerg fact, but it never really got anywhere, and Reynor just kind of swatted him out of the sky. Drone sees the probe being annoying. We all know you're no longer allowed to take your natchery, but instead, your third or their natural. Those are your only options. As a Zerg player in 2022, 90% of the time that probe gets sent out, and even if a majority of that, they're not going to cannon rush or any sort of shenanigans. It's just to make things a little more difficult. We've worked out that annoying a Zerg player and preventing them from getting their natural is worth the mining time lost on the probe. Meanwhile, Terran players are like, if I have to send an SCV account, if I have to send a single SCV out to scout before the 3-minute mark, then my quarterly report, okay, we're going to see approximately a 9% downturn in mineral revenue from the main for upwards of 90 seconds. And I don't care how roaches are an existential threat. Okay, if 6 SCVs have to die, it will not. I need to get my. I apologize. Where were we? herO. A bit of an awkward wall yet again. I believe that is a wall off on this side. If not, it's a mistake. As herO trying new creative ways. I think part of last game, part of the issue was simply Reynor got in and saw it with the Overlord, which was just unlucky, and then with Zerglings, he was able to minimize the defense. So overall, just setting things up correctly from the very start is a big part of playing Protoss. Well, first Adept comes out. No silly sneaky strats this time. Third hatchery is scouted. It's a robotics facility out of herO, and that almost always indicates aggression, not defense. As otherwise, like, the robot doesn't really leave you with a lot of options that are at least a lot better than the Stargate options. Almost certainly a prism, but maybe an immortal drop style. I always love seeing that, even though it's a little dated at this point. Adept into the main. A lot of gas in the bank. Observer and a robotics bay. There we are. Might be the double barrel shotgun opener. the disruptor drops. Back in the day, disruptors used to trigger on proximity. Essentially, you would hit a target and they'd explode, which created some interesting implications. Though, overall now, more potential, but also less likelihood to hit. Well, it's going to come down to Reynor's quick reaction. Usually the first disruptor shot and the last are the most impactful to how the game ends. And there's the prism, which lends even more likelihood towards those ruptors. Disruptor. Well, what does Reynor have at home? Queens are an okay defense, though. They don't get one shot by Ruptors, though they won't do much to protect the Queens. Gravitic Drive. herO definitely breaking out a new playbook, by the way. I just want to point that one out. This is not the herO builds that we've kind of come to accept as standard. This is not the quick 3-base Oracle style. Of all people to play it against, I guess Reynor is one of the top Protoss players at playing that style. Somewhat amusingly. I don't know if ironically is the right word, but I think maybe if you want to test it, there's almost no better player to mix it up against. Well, herO cancels at the last second. I don't think he used the disruptor. Here's the thing about showing the prism here. It doesn't actually give you information. You'll see it. It's going to look... He's even building a second Roach Warren, is Reynor. Double! Oh my... It's only one queen, and that's the issue at the last second splitting. The Zerglings are in the main because the wall... Yeah, that's not a good wall. herO just... His controller is a little bit high sensitivity, I guess. As these wall-offs are not... They're not working. Both Roach Warrens, well, the first Roach Warren finishes. The second one about to finish. The disruptor shots will target the queen. Wow, these are some some regicide builds here from herO. Both his builds, the Tempest and the Disruptor, seem particularly targeted at murdering queens, which they've succeeded in doing. The question will be, is there a follow-up here? The shots are reloaded. The Disruptor's looking for an opportunity. They fire for the drones. A pretty juicy hit, and then protect themselves as well. 28 Zerglings have been taken down thus far. Well, Sporkveld to zone it out. Behind it, 5 more gates. Gonna bring us up towards 7 gates here. Those Disruptors, well, they haven't gotten deadly damage thus far. They have been shaving around the edges, and Reynor built so many... Ooh, wait, no! What a save! He gets out with red HP on one of the Ruptors. The other one, shield stripped away, and you gotta keep... on cooldown, you gotta be firing those shots off. As otherwise, Reynor is gonna be able to recover and overwhelm this relatively fragile glass cannon army. Blink Stalker Disruptor. Well, herO loves his micro. And he's got... It's 4 Ruptors. Well, here we go. Disruptors looking for an opportunity. They're off cooldown. One shot. Gonna stagger them out here. Softens up the queens. Blink Stalkers. Dangerous. Another Disruptor shot, trying to zone out. Only clips a Roach, but the Stalkers are adding the damage that the Disruptors can't do on their own. Another shot up to the high ground, clips the Ravager. The Blink Stalker still grinding through great micro out of herO. And suddenly, the critical mass of units just was never there, and it works. herO. Wow, throwing things out there to see what sticks, and he sticks a whole lot of Disruptor shots into Reynor. That just felt like an evolved version of the last game. The queens are never able to keep up. I don't know. I don't want to... I hope that doesn't catch on. I'm not a big fan. I'm looking at that like, you know... On the bright side, much like many of herO's builds, they're just as likely to backfire. There's no unit that backfires quite as hard as the Disruptor. So for those few ladder players who are watching this, I don't think you should be too afraid of seeing that particular style on the ladder as controlling even Blink Stalkers on their own, let alone the Danger Balls and the Blink Stalkers. Something I think most players will struggle with. I don't think Reynor had... What are these wall-offs, herO? He's bringing back, like, the pylon wall-offs. To quote StarCraft, I saw a pylon in the wall and it angered me a little bit. Which was before he murdered Neeb in Home Story... Or after he murdered Neeb in Home Story Cup in an unceremonious finishing game because Neeb decided to wall off real weird like this. I don't agree with it. I don't support it. I don't think it's a good idea. And I don't have even 2,000 MMR. I'm not within 2,000 MMR of herO, so I don't really have much room to speak, I guess. I hope Reynor punishes it. Even if he doesn't end up winning the game, I hope that wall becomes proven to be bad. I don't want to... I've been walling off the same way. I fear change as well. herO's bringing a lot of it to the table. Does he fall back on his Gateway Man style? Or does he try something new again? That Disruptor build seemed very capable. Part of it because the Warp Prism doesn't actually give anything away. The Warp Prism could be just like straight up Adepts. It could be, it's usually combined with the Twilight Council, which is why I think Reynor wasn't particularly worried early on, and then suddenly the Disruptors pop out and things go sideways. Disruptor's always entertaining to watch, just not on the receiving end. I think Stargate. I think we get back to Stargate. Yeah, herO. This way you can wall off before the second gateway, but you do have a pylon in the wall, so that's the trade-off here. If herO was threatened by early pools, or he suspected that was the case, maybe this would be better, but I'm still not a fan. Alright, herO, what's it going to be? He starts Warp Gate, cancels it, starts a Stargate. Now, just like Game 1, it doesn't necessarily rule out shenanigans. But also, after I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to that plethorical style. The 3 Oracle opener. Probe able to block the base. Oh, and he slaps down a pylon just to be a little bit more annoying. Okay, alright. What is he going to build a second pylon? Sacrifices the probe on the altar of annoying the Zerg, which I guess I can respect that. And also to buy a little bit of time. Doesn't cancel. In fact, tried to get the Adept in. herO being a real cheeky Protoss right now. The Adept, annoying. Looking for the third. There's no creep here, so caught in that bit of a purgatory situation are Reynor's units. The Shade. Whoop, not quite there. Looking for more of the Zerglings. Nearing Zergling speed's completion. Right around that 330, 335. Write that down. herO, of course, already knows. Oracle on the way across. Second Oracle following it up. Nothing too out of the question or out of the standard now at the moment. Oracle looking, not finding the Queen split between the bases. The creep starting to fill in. Third Oracle and second gate. So this is the build, essentially. This is the herO build. We see the third base being taken. See, and I imagine very soon, after warping a Stalker or two, we'll see a Twilight and a Forge to complement. This is the style he's so good at. That just keeps so much pressure on the Zerg. Until the Adepts go across the map in order to get economic damage done, and he might be forced to cancel the third. herO just not on the ball with this right now. Third Oracle. Well, are the Adepts going to justify it? Because the Adepts being on the other side means he's lost the pylon, but the third Oracle is always the key. A bit awkward. Can't really find the spot for those Adepts. The queens will drive them back. It'll take a bit. 5 drones down. You know what? Plus the oracles on the other side. Reynor just death by 1,000 laser-based cuts right now. There's the Twilight and Forge, which brings you Blink and +1 in order to start those upgrades and try to compete. Reynor's only at 45 drones, but he's got a lot of lings on the field. The problem is, the oracles just... how many oracles will he activate? Just the one. Forces the lings away. Reynor trying to manage that oracle energy, but that's why you build 3 of them. Adepts into the natural again. Both players getting caught. I said they were both aggressive and like being up in the face of their opponent. And this is kind of what I meant. Adepts, again, shading by. Reynor's lings were on the other side trying to do damage, but he's going to lose some of his economy. And I'd argue this is the most impactful part of the game. He's now at only 50 drones against a Protoss who took a 3rd. Is Lair even started? He hasn't started a Lair. So no direct anti-air aside from the queens. It's just going to be lings and soon to be banelings. Another set of adepts. These ones canceled. herO matching the worker counts with relative ease. A couple adepts get caught. +1 melee closing in, but 2 more adepts into the natural. They find some drones. Reynor, I can't tell you how annoying this is as a Zerg player. I feel like you're essentially getting your ears stretched out constantly. Just getting poked and prodded. And your drone count suffering. The larva meager to deal with this. With only 3 hatcheries and limited injects because he keeps chasing oracles. Reynor's gonna struggle to field enough units to really pressure herO. Yeah, a shield battery. At the natural, there's no battery, but the plethoricals looking for an opportunity. Oh, well, this is why we don't wall up with the damn pylon! herO! How many times? It just doesn't give you the correct angle to wall off against the Zerglings, and now you got Zerglings in your main. That's what happens. And at the 3rd, the Oracle's coming back trying to figure out what to do, but Zerglings are everywhere. Reynor's been allowed to do what he does best. The Zergling counters, killing the probes, any damage, all the work that herO put in on the other side. All those adepts, all that Oracle micro, undone by the decisions of earlier in the match that we probably could have taken down that pylon. Oh, God. He gets into the natural again, going for the Stalkers, blinking back. The thing is, though, herO's counterstroke. That's a lot of Stalkers. You know what? I take it all back. Maybe it was bait. I can't have it both ways. Yes, I can. The Zergling count not high enough to really threaten the Stalkers. And now it's Reynor's fort. That's going to be under attack. Wow. Shows what I know. Part of the benefit of herO's gateway heavy style is you always have the units to warp in, something you can't rely on with Stargate. And even though Reynor was able to slip into the main, it whittled down his Zergling count, and now the critical mass of Stalkers, herO able to match the numbers of the Zerg and potentially overwhelm them. Banelings into the main, sure, some economic damage dealt, but herO still has the Stalkers up in Reynor's 3rd. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump from his 3rd all the way across the map here on Waterfall in Reynor's vast Zergling style. The Zergling count whittled down, there's precious little left. herO turns the tables so quickly, almost before Reynor can blink. Well, it appears herO, the more adaptable player in this series. Reynor kind of just scrambling throughout. He was able to slap down the Tempest in Game 1, but Games 2 and 3, Reynor takes command and decisively wins. Both less than 10-minute matches. Ooh, should Reynor have played Protoss? What is the counter to the Stalkers? What do you want to see next? Like, subscribe, check out this video, check out the second channel. Do you have enough hours in the day? Well, then check out the stream on YouTube on Fridays. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. I hope I made today a little bit better. I'll see you next time. stay chill.